Welcome to Vampires and Mermaids. I'm Erin.
I'm Risha.
And what do we have today, Risha?
So today, I think I will start with The Black Veil from 2000. It's a set of rules for vampire etiquette.
What? From 2000?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was compiled by Michelle Bellinger and Kovica, which is Covica. It's the Council of Vampiric International Community Affairs.
What?
Mm-hmm.
This is real life?
Yes, this is real life. And it's a voluntary standard of common sense ethics and ideals for the Sanguinarium, which we'll get to that, and the greater vampire community.
Okay.
Yeah. So the goal was to foster mutual respect, discretion, and safety among vampire community members.
Okay.
And it was embraced by some of the community and very much disliked by others because they felt like it was forced authority.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, how many how many people are in this community? Where is this community? Is this like a internet? Is this like an international thing? Is this like a cul-de-sac?
I think it's international. We'll get
Okay.
more into it when I get to Sanguinarium.
Okay.
So I will touch on it. But thank you for asking. And it was also, I should note too, that it was an ethic code within the community, but not a how-to on becoming a vampire.
Okay.
This was for already established vampires.
Okay.
And Kovica, I mentioned before, the Council of Vampiric International Community Affairs, so yeah, international, is apparently defunct now.
Oh, okay.
But they were dedicated to the standardizations of beliefs, terminology, and the exchange of people in the, exchange between, info.
Oh, okay.
Info,
Okay. I was like,
not trafficking.
oh, no.
The human trafficking.
Oh, boy. I
no.
got real nervous.
No, exchange of info between people
Gotcha.
in the vampiric community. And they created that in the late 1990s.
Okay.
And then the Black Veil, this ethics code, came out in the 2000. And they also claimed that they were not attempting to be a governing body, but a place with resources.
Okay.
So that's another reason why people were upset at the Black Veil coming out as like a code of ethics, because they felt like it was being pushed on them as like they were governing them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I have to go to my book because it got long when I got to Sanguinarium.
That's totally fair.
The Sanguinarium, which also, if you look that up on Google, it's like the title of an X-Files episode. That's not what we're talking about.
Yep, but that's all you're going to find if you Google it. Yep.
The Sanguinarian which is an M at the end, Sanguinarium. It's a modern vampire movement that is for people with vampire lifestyles. It was founded in 1995 in New York's underground club scene. It was designed to be a network, community, and a resource for vampire subculture. And members were united under the ethics and morality code known as the Black Veil. And they officially disbanded around 2002, so it wasn't very long-lived.
Oh, wow, no.
But this brings me to something that I thought was interesting because we are currently reading Interview with a Vampire.
I was going to ask you for an update on that.
Yeah, we got to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The whole movement was pretty much inspired by a collection of vampire bars, nightclubs, and safe houses. Uh-huh.
Oh.
That was founded in Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles.
Oh.
So this whole movement
Holy crap.
was influenced by her books.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I would also like to just touch on the type of vampire lifestyles that were accepted in this.
Yes, please.
Like how this worked, what
does
believed,
vampiric lifestyle mean? Yeah.
So, within the sanguinarian movement, there are a number of different types of vampire lifestylers and different ways to transform or become a vampire. And there are about 6 of these different
This makes
types.
me so uncomfortable.
I can tell by your face.
I don't know why I'm so uncomfortable, but I'm just like, I think because all of the vampires, not all, but a lot of what we covered have been either, folklore, fairy tales, legends, stories, or it's been like we've talked about the serial killer.
Right.
We haven't covered him on this episode, but like I know you and I have texted about it.
Yep.
So I think that's why I'm uncomfortable, because it's never been anything recent that's real.
Right.
And so I'm just
Like, oh gosh, these are all like people that kill people.
yeah.
But
I'm sure it's not.
Right.
But my true crime brain goes to that, so I'm just like,
Oh, gosh.
okay.
Which I'm sure there were some in this
Well,
community, but there's
There's
in
eccentrics
every
in
community.
everything, right?
Yeah. But so the first one they list is born vampires are those who realize they are vampires and have always known it. 2, made vampires become vampires through a ritual initiation. 3, sanguinarians with an N at the end who actually drink blood.
Oh,
There.
see, the first 2, I was like, oh, this is how you join a sorority. They're like Thorn Kappa Psi, or like you are made Kappa Psi, or I don't know. I didn't do sororities, but so the first 2, I'm like, yes, sorority style.
Right.
And you got to that one, and okay, but anyway, yep, okay.
Yep. So that, there are people who actually do drink blood, and those are sanguinarians.
Does it say what kind of blood?
So
Sorry, I keep tangenting.
no, you good. Little baby Risha, when she was watching TV alone at home,
Oh no.
she saw there's like some of those addict shows on like
Yes.
TMC or something.
Ladies eating couch cushion stuffing. Yep.
Like deodorant. Yeah.
Yep.
One of them was somebody who would drink blood,
Oh.
and they would either get it. Usually they would get it from people who consented to.
And that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or there was like, there's like those blood delicacies you can have.
Blood sausage.
Yep.
And yep.
So stuff like that too.
Okay.
So number 4, pranic vampires who feed on spiritual energy known as prana or prana. I'm not sure how to say it. Number 5 are sexual vampires.
Well.
Also called incubi and incubi and
Oh, okay.
succubi.
Sure.
They pursue erotic gratification. Yep. So they're the kink community of this.
Okay.
And number 6 is the last one, which I really enjoy the fact that they include these people.
Okay.
They are fashion vampires.
What?
They enjoy dressing up as vampires.
Hell yeah.
You're right?
Oh, I
They're
love
like,
that.
yeah, you're included.
They're like the cosplayers of the community.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
All right. I'm kind of here for that.
Right? Isn't that fun?
That
but
is.
that was like where the Black Veil took me down the road.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I like that. Very cool.
Yeah, so that was kind of short, but
That's okay. Well, I think I'm going to do my like kind of short one too. Because it's not like kind of short, but I don't think my other one would coincide quite as well, if that makes sense. So I'm
Yeah.
just going to do this. This was actually, I don't even remember why I thought of this the other day, but I went, oh my God, why have I not covered this on the podcast? Because to me, this is probably one of the most popularized mermaid/sirens of modern day.
I'm intrigued.
And I hadn't thought of it. And I was talking to my husband, and he's like, yeah, and you've been to the birthplace of that business. And I'm like, I have. We didn't actually go inside because there was a really long line. But I wanted to go over a brief history of the Starbucks logo.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yes.
So Starbucks originally started out in Seattle, Washington State in the U.S. Now Starbucks, actually, I heard that the founders of Starbucks got shot down a lot for funding because people were like, why would we sponsor another coffee shop? But at the time, most coffee shops were selling like very bad, essentially canned coffee, just like coffee grounds. It wasn't high-end good coffee. It was just Folgers, essentially. Like it wasn't anything special. And so the original founders wanted to make kind of like a nice, safe place in Seattle where people could come hang out, get really good coffee. And so it was 3 founders, Gordon Boker, Zev Siegel, and Jerry Baldwin. So they dreamed of creating a safe space in Seattle where people could come and enjoy coffee, tea, and spices. Don't know how that worked. in a way that would revolutionize the way they drank coffee. So the evolution of the Starbucks logo, this is where I'm reading off the internet because it's just easier. I'm using taylorbrands.com for my information because Starbucks actually has a logo history blurb on their website, which is great. And this is pretty much the same stuff, but they just fleshed it out a little bit more.
Oh, nice.
The Starbucks logo one was just kind of like the condensed bullet point version, but we wanted more of a story. So the Starbucks logo originally and packaging had kind of a striking look. Oh, here we go. Where am I going? Here we go. Okay, sorry. So Starbucks wasn't actually always called Starbucks, which I did not know. The original founders named their company Pequod.
What?
After the whaling ship in the story Moby Dick.
Pequod?
Pequod. Pequod. Pequud. Apparently that was the whaling ship in Moby Dick. I don't know. I've never read.
I haven't read Moby Dick either, but that's just such a bad name for a business. Well, it doesn't sound good.
And the following sentences, they quickly realized this wasn't a catchy name. So I agree. I read that too, and I'm like, y'all, no. So they actually switched it to Starbucks, which Starbuck was the ship's chief mate in Moby Dick. So they really liked Moby Dick.
I guess.
The naval theme led them to their very first logo design, which is a twin-tailed mermaid. I will be posting these pictures on our Instagram, obviously, so follow us at Vamps and Mers with and sign. So in Greek mythology, these sirens, who had the twin tails, I guess, in Greek mythology, would lure sailors into crashing their ships. I never saw that either.
Because like when you talked about the Odyssey and the Iliad.
They were birds.
Right.
Yeah. So I think this comes down to a lot of the misconceptions of things being translated wrong.
Right.
Because they were like, oh yeah, the twin-tailed mermaid, like Greek mythology. And I was like,
well, that's like early on. Did you know Moses used to have horns on his head?
What?
Yeah.
Like part the Red Sea Moses?
Yeah.
No shit.
Uh-huh. Old statues of him had horns because there was a mistranslation with how he looked. Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Uh-huh.
If you haven't listened to the bird siren episode, by the way, go listen to that because that will explain a lot. So these sirens, would lure sailors into crashing their ships off the coast. We've done a lot of different sub-stories of this and different versions of this. The Starbucks logo was supposed to kind of be the same thing, except it was supposed to lure the customers into buy. It was supposed to be like the lure of coffee.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of stupid too. The original Starbucks logo used a coffee brown color, and the mermaid was fully visible. So you could see her holding her tail in both hands. So she has like one tail in each hand. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting look.
Oh, wait, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it was still a circular design.
Wasn't there a thing people got upset about it though?
We'll get to that, yes. Yeah. We will get to that in a little bit. So her titties are fully out. Oh, yeah. Her full body is on display, like you can see the whole thing. That is important. I'll get to that later. And they originally said like Starbucks and coffee, tea, and spices. Mm-hmm. So they listed it all out. That did not change until 1987. So that first one started in 1971. In 1987, the company was bought by Howard Schultz, who immediately redesigned the logo. But he didn't change it like all that much. So here, I'll show you. That's the 1987 version.
You add a little bit of green in there.
Yes, much closer to what we're used to seeing now. Schultz hired Terry Heckler, an artist and designer, to help him with the new logo. They drew inspiration from the port of Seattle and wanted to incorporate the idea of a fresh start and new opportunities to grow and succeed. So they made some big changes to the logo, which as far as designers go, I'm sure these are big changes. To me, it doesn't look that much different because I'm like, it's still a circle and there's still the siren in the middle. Kind of the same thing. But it is different. The mermaid got a makeover. Her boobs were covered by her hair. She kept her crown, and she definitely became more streamlined. So it became less of a sketch and more of a logo in my eyes. Well, I guess logo, it's not a great way of using logo. It became simplified.
Yeah. Cleaner, maybe.
Cleaner. Yeah. The mermaid was not the only thing that changed. The logo's colors also transformed from brown to kind of a like Kelly green. And this was to kind of represent the company's new purpose. The words tea and spices were dropped as well. Instead, they just created the 2-word mark Starbucks coffee. And then they had 2 stars connecting the words. Mm-hmm. So one between, star, Starbucks across top, star, coffee across the bottom, kind of curved into that circle. This logo stuck around until 1992. And they went through their 3rd logo design change. The logo zoomed in on the mermaid. So here, I'll show you this one. So it's really quite similar. So that's where we were before.
Right.
And that's where we are now.
It made her look less like she's holding her legs up.
Yeah, pretty much. So they pretty much zoomed in on the logo and was supposed to create a more intimate close-up view. So her navel is no longer visible and only some of her tail is seen kind of like framing her face. The font also sharpened with a more professional and modern appearance. The result for the logo was a cleaner look and feel, with the Siren having a bigger impact and focus. Mm-hmm. So 2008, you alluded to this. They celebrated Starbucks' 40th anniversary, and the company decided to attempt a considerable rebranding effort. With a blast to the past, they reimagined the original 1971 logo with a few modern twists and changed the logo's color from green to black. So that's what they went with. It looks kind of spooky.
It does.
So it's that same, like the original sketched out mermaid with like a lot of details.
With scales on everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think, her titties are out again. Yeah, you can see the whole thing. It's zoomed back out. People hated it. So the result was a massive failure, and they received huge backlash from customers. Their green branding and simple logo design had become so popular and familiar to the public that the audience refused to accept anything other than their beloved green logo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I remember living through that even too.
I vaguely remember it too. Yeah. So I think they pretty much just went back to the logo they were using before.
Yeah.
And then in 2011, because they obviously realized how strong and successful their brand had become, Starbucks dropped like the outer circle of their logo and went to just the mermaid.
Yes.
Zoomed in. Yep. So that's what we see now on our cups. So it's just the mermaid zoomed in. You can see you're kind of holding her tail. She's framed by it. It's very, very modern, very minimalistic. They said goodbye to the word marks, the stars, the outer rings, and the logo's entirely focused on the Siren. Which they enlarged and gave a facelift to. Her eyes, nose, and hair were redesigned to be more symmetrical, and they brought back the iconic green background color. Starbucks explained that this latest approach allows the logo to appeal and connect with audiences worldwide. So I assume that's probably also part of them going international. You're not having to redesign everything.
And do the words different and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's just a little bit about probably, they said, like one of the most iconic logos ever. I'm like, I guess it is a pretty iconic logo, but like there are a lot of international logos. Like you got the McDonald's M. And, but the Apple.
They're fun too because they have like mugs that are designed with different countries on like cities on them too, which I think is really fun.
I really want the Star Wars ones.
Oh, really?
They have like the Endor one, which is the planet the Ewoks live on, and it looks like it's from Endor.
That's
like has a little, because normally they have like Arizona and like
right.
Beijing and because
I have a Zhuhai one from when I was living there. Well, actually, I gave it to my grandma, but then I got it now that she's passed. So,
that's sweet though.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. Like it's fun because they are a very international company now. But it started in little old, Seattle, Washington, and we were actually there for a wedding recently, and we walked by the very first ever Starbucks.
Cool.
Yep, it was a huge line, like all the way out the door, and we were like not. Like Philip doesn't even drink coffee, and I've cut back heavily, and it's like we're not standing in that line, but it was cool to see.
Yeah.
So that's just a little bit about the iconic Siren logo.
I like it.
Yay. That's all I have. I guess we should do a little book update.
Oh yes.
Without trying to give like opinions, because I'm sure we'll cover that in a full episode. How far are you, or how much do you have left?
I'm like 68% of the way through.
Okay, cool. I think I'm like 80-ish.
Okay.
So maybe in a couple of weeks we'll cover that. So again, without going into opinions, because otherwise I'll give it all away. Yeah. Are we liking it? Are we hating it? Are we neutral?
I like it mostly.
That's how I feel too. I'm like, I think I'm intrigued by it, but I definitely have like, I will say my mom was entirely right that this was not appropriate for an 11-year-old to read.
Not appropriate for an 11-year-old.
Lord.
No.
So I will at least give that spoiler. No. Even my older cousin who was 13 at the time, I'm like, nope, you didn't need to read that. I really hope she didn't, but she probably did. She could have handled it, but
there's just some ways the author describes certain things, or some of the things they linger on.
Yes. Yep. And honestly, I think I probably would have given up reading as a kid because it would have gone over my head so far.
Fair.
You can feel free to write us if there's anything you want us to cover or anything you want us to comment on.
Yeah.
You can comment on our Spotify. You can comment on our Instagram. You can email us vampsandandmers@gmail.com. Again, go ahead and give us a follow on Instagram and follow and review wherever you listen.
Yeah, you can also comment on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I
know-
forgot we're on YouTube.
You know that octopus one we did?
Yeah.
That one is the highest. Like,
No
viewed.
shit. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for the octopus.
All right.
Octopodi. All right. Stay thirsty and keep wet.
Cover your necks and watch your tail.
Obscurantism and obfuscation.
Orally observed, gentle listener.
Gentle listener.
Gentle listener.
Gentle listener.
Obviated objects of oblivion.
Obambulating about.
Offered unto you.
Offered unto you.
Offered unto you.
In the Tapestry Radio Network.
Tapestryradio.org.
From our fancy to yours.